Hi everyone. So I put some cards for the collective energies and how the solstice affects us all. There's a lot of talk about the solstice in the spiritual community right now and the importance of that event. And today I was reminded, I was speaking to a friend of mine and I was reminded, it was a very grounding conversation actually, because I think what was happening for me is that I was also kind of flying high in the clouds, thinking, oh my god, it's going to be amazing, the solstice, we're entering into a new age and breaking free from stuff. But yeah, I was just gently reminded about the fact that this happens every year, and the fact that it is going to be the longest night of the year, and from then on the days will progressively grow and become longer and longer and longer. So literally it is a doorway from the darkest part of the year is finishing, it's completing, that's going to be the peak point, and from then on we're entering into the lighter part of the year. We are heading towards spring, we're heading towards lightness, we're heading towards openness, warming up, things like that. And obviously this is going to impact our bodies, our energy levels, everything. So I picked some cards for the solstice without much intention, without just to see what's happening there for all of us and what messages, what advice is coming. And it's really interesting because as much as I don't want to repeat all the messages that are out there in the spiritual community, I can't help but see two paths here, a choice between two states of mind or being. And in the middle we have the Emperor and the Queen of Pentacles, looking in one direction towards one path, heading towards one path, and this guy, the King of Pentacles, underneath them, looking in the other direction and heading in that, towards that path, on that path. So to me this is speaking about all that split in humanity that everyone is talking about, and how the majority of people are choosing, like the higher expression of the divine masculine and the divine feminine are choosing one path, and the less mature or more wounded masculine choosing another path. And I don't see these two paths as negative or positive. I just see them as different, and I see that both of them lead to the same place ultimately. However, one will be a bit more challenging and the other one will be a bit more like a highway type of thing, like more speed. There's going to be more speed, it's going to be more accelerated, the energy. Okay, so I'm going to speak about this guy and where he's looking at. So he's looking at the Eight of Swords, the Moon in reversed, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles. And I put some clarifier cards underneath as well. So the clarifier cards are the Ace of Wands in reverse, Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and that's underneath the Moon. Underneath the Eight of Pentacles we have Ten of Cups and Eight of Cups, and then underneath the Five of Pentacles we have Justice in reverse. And what this speaks about is this mental entrapment. that a lot of us may be living in. This anxiety, this fear, this like confusion, not knowing which direction to go in, not knowing how to progress forward, not knowing what's happening in the world, not seeing where the new beginning is, not seeing how to break free, basically. However, the Eight of Swords is always about the mental realm. So it's not in actuality, in the physical world, in reality, there is nothing that is keeping us trapped, but our thoughts and beliefs. So the focus is there. Some of us will choose that path, the path of disempowerment, of feeling as if they're being victims, and not listening to their intuition, not having the connection with, not maintaining the connection to their subconscious mind, to their emotion, to the divine source, whatever it is, and that puts them in this state of disempowerment, not being self-sufficient, not being independent, not having this abundance that usually is there in the Nine of Pentacles. And there is, when it's upright, there is so much like fulfillment, so much abundance here, and this person has worked for it. This person has created this. They are totally independent. It is their abundance. It's their foundation. Totally independent of anyone or everything else. So that is not there when it's in reversed. Like this foundation is falling apart. It's not there. We feel like we're losing it. Everything we've worked hard for, it's completely disappearing. We feel we're losing our independence. We're losing our power to be self-sufficient. There's a lot of emphasis and work here on trying to maintain things going, trying to maintain relationships going, trying to maintain community, society, whatever it is, like going the way it used to, and thus hoping and seeking this beautiful outcome of, yay, completion, we're going to be free eventually. However, that doesn't come. It doesn't come. What we're met with is lack, scarcity, disappointment, hurt, pain, fear. Justice is not served, and all of this difficulty. So if the focus is on this, on basically on what's not working in the world and what's trapping us and what's not allowing us to move, and if we continuously put the blame outside of us towards institutions, towards society, towards politics, towards money, towards people, relationships, and don't look inside of us and what we can change right now within ourselves in order to transform our world, like small step after another small step, we will keep being met with circumstances and situations that will take our power even more, like away even more and more and more, until we are pushed and pressed and squeezed so much that we completely leave it and walk away from it in search of our path, of the truth. This represents a soul journey, and this is exactly what we want. This will lead us to the other path, which I'm going to speak about in a bit. Like all this pain and things not working out will make us basically choose the other path, which I feel is the one that we don't have a choice, but this is where we're heading. This is where our planet, this is where all energies, this is where our souls are guiding us to. And it doesn't matter which direction we pick. Ultimately, we're going to end up on this path, which I'm going to speak about right now, which is the more positive, or whatever you want to call it. So this path reflects these guys here. It's just, to me, just they look so in their power and so composed and just like ready to move forward. But they're faced with the Nine of Wands, and which Nine of Wands is obstruction, difficulty, being overwhelmed, you know, just, yeah, like holding too much, being almost at the end, almost completing something, a tiring journey or something, completing something, but not being quite there. Like, it's the nine. It's, yeah, I just get a lot of heaviness from this energy, and a lot of blockages. So no, you can come in if you want to. Sorry, I'm just, my flatmate's here. So so underneath this we have the Magician card, and to me this speaks about the realization that, okay, it's shit, our like circumstances are terrible, but this is what it is, and this is what we've created, this is what we've agreed collectively to be in. So now, what can we do in order to rewrite the story? How can we manifest something completely different? How can we step up and work with the energies that we have in order to create a completely different reality that aligns and resonates with our being? And it's really interesting because then we have the Two of Wands, and underneath it we have the Two of Pentacles. So to me this is like really learning how to work with these energies, like this magician, like really learning what it means to be this archetype, to embody this magician archetype, really stepping into the creator mode, really taking responsibility for our creations, for what we create in each moment. Like, what I get is like this expansion of consciousness, expansion of like awareness, and realizing that in each moment all of it is coming from inside of us. All of it is a mirror, it's a projection, it shows us what, it's a feedback, it shows us our state of being. So if we don't like it, it's about finding how to work, with the darkness and the shadow, balancing them, uniting them, like accepting them both, and creating whatever, you know, whatever we want to create. I'm picking something else from this card. So this guy here, I don't know if you can see, I hope you can see the water, like the stormy sea, the rocky sea behind him, and the ship, boat ships, sailing. It's something, it like, he to me seems as if he's actually influencing these waves. He's like this puppet master or something who's making the sea move in a particular way. So I feel like we are stepping in that role of I don't want to use puppet master because for some reason I feel like it holds a slightly negative connotation. But we become this observer, we become this powerful creator, this magician, this wizard, and work with the energies within us, with our subconsciousness, with our emotions, with our thoughts, with our beliefs. We complete, like we open all our like chakras and channels and see clearly. With this guy here we have then the King of Swords. We see completely, like we see clearly which aspects of us, of our shadow self, are creating obstacles or obstruction, or like holding us back, or creating the illusion that we are bound to something and we can't move forward. Which aspects, which belief systems, which conditioned behaviors, which habits are creating this lower energy which keeps us stuck, and doesn't allow us to move forward. It doesn't allow us to expand and create what we deserve, basically, what we've come here to create. I hope this made sense. So it's a very powerful energy which like demands us stepping into our power and completely embodying and realizing that there is nothing outside of us that can influence us. It's all coming from inside of us. It's all our creation, and we are creating in each moment. So when something comes as a feedback which is unpleasant, what is the lesson in that thing? How can we change and shift in order to create something different, in order to change slightly the direction, so our lives, our energy, our relationships start improving slowly? Because manifestation works much slower in this world we live in this physical reality. So but there is something else I'm picking up. I'm picking up also that things are speeding up and manifestation is speeding up. So that is why we are being called to literally to a new life, to like step our game up and realize that we create everything in our lives, literally everything. And by seeing that, by completely understanding how that works, we will create consciously and not subconsciously, not unconsciously. We will create consciously. We will know exactly what we're creating. Therefore, stepping out of the victimhood role and stepping into creator mode, into boss mode, basically. Okay, underneath the Queen of Wands, underneath the King of Swords, we have the Queen of Wands, the fire and the air, the masculine and the feminine, united together in creation, the mental realm, and like the ideas, the seeing, the clarity, and the activation, the solar plexus, the lower chakras that give birth to it, which the one, you know, from where we create literally in the physical. Liberation from the shackles, liberation from the devil energy, realizing that we're free. We're free to do whatever we want, to create whatever we want, to be whoever we want. We're not tied to anything. And focusing on the positive, focusing on the light, focusing on how much light we can hold rather than how much negativity and grief we can hold. This is not to say, I'm not saying that we should be avoiding a grief and sadness. Definitely not. It's about integration. It's about seeing all these aspects of ourselves that are wounded, holding space for them, reconciling and lovingly accepting them, inviting them into the light within ourselves, and keep feeding that light with more light, so it can keep healing and healing and healing any wounds and any darkness and any confusion and any insecurity and any fear, so it can keep embracing it and loving it to the point of all of you, all of us being healed and a whole complete human being, stepping into their masterful expression of the magician. Okay, well, I hope this made sense. So this is what the cards are saying. I pulled, and then we have Justice upright. This is so funny, fantastic. So we ended up with Justice upside down, when talking about the other timeline finished with this one, with upside down, justice not being served, balance not being regained, and this one finishes with justice upright, so balance and harmony regained. It's all about remembering, guys. This is not like, it's not like we're learning something new. We're just remembering who we really are. We're remembering what we can't do. We are remembering, we're fully understanding that all of our lives are our creation. It's no one else's. I hope this makes sense. So I pulled some runes as well, and the runes are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love this little book. It's written in such a wise and simple to understand way. So I'm going to read from the book. I'm just going to very quickly tell you what the runes are. So the runes are saying, I don't know how to pronounce them, Rado, Awas, but upside down, Northeast, Kano, and Ansos. I hope I'm pronouncing them right, probably not. Anyway, so to me the runes are beautiful. To me, basically all this time we are in at the moment, because the past few weeks has been quite intense, and it is still quite intense for a lot of us, and the solstice is going to be not just the solstice. I feel like the solstice and the ending of the entire year, like from the solstice to the end of the year, it's going to be gradually like this opening of just opening for energy to move, opening, clearing, like allowing movement to happen in a almost like more hope and more light will be felt, because at the moment, in the past few days, we've been, I'm saying this just as comparison to the energies we've been experiencing the past few weeks, and currently probably some of us as well, a lot of work with the shadow, a lot of like blocked movement, not being able to move forward, focusing on communication, but within, you know, figuring out, establishing communication with all these parts of ourselves that have been neglected, and that's why we haven't been allowed to move forward, because we've had to deal with all this shadow work, with all these obstructions and all this constraint and pain and grief. We had to meet it, we had to work with it, we had to face it, we had to embrace it and invite it to step into the light. And that is exactly what's happening. This is what Kano's talking about. And this is a new beginning. I feel like the journey is very individual. I feel like we're being asked, I don't know if some of you may be feeling quite withdrawn and needing to spend more time alone maybe. If that is the case, this is for a reason, because you are not meant to at the moment distract yourself with other people, with relationships. You're not meant to distract yourself with external things. You're meant to work within, to get to know yourself so well, to meet the inner child, to meet all the fears, to meet all the hopes, everything. Because that is how we step into the magician energy that I spoke about, by knowing, like seeing all of your corners, like there's nothing to hide from yourself, there's nothing to run away from yourself, and there's nothing to hide from other people as well, therefore. Okay, let me read the runes. So Rado is about, let me see, 102. Okay, journey, communication, union, reunion. This rune is concerned with communication, with the attunement of something that has two sides, two elements, and with the ultimate union that comes at the end of the journey, when what is above and what is below are united and of one mind. Inner worth mounts here, and at such a time you're not intended to rely entirely upon your own power. Instead, ask what constitutes right action. Ask through prayer or meditation, through addressing the witness self, the teacher within. Once you're clear, you can neutralize your refusal to let right action flow through you. Not intent on movement, be content to wait. While you wait, keep on removing resistance. As the obstructions give way, all remorse arises from trying to make things happen disappears. As always, the journey is towards self-healing, So, as always, the journey is towards self-healing, self-change, and union. You're concerned here with nothing less than unobstructed perfect union, but the union of heaven and earth cannot be forced. So this is we're talking about here about union, again, like energetic union rather than physical union with someone in a relationship. It's the union of heaven and earth. I hope that's clear enough. Regulate any excesses in your life. Material advantages must not weigh heavily on this journey of the self towards the self. Stand apart even from like-minded others. The notion of strength in numbers does not apply at such a time. For this part of the journey, the soul's journey cannot be shared. Exactly what I said. You're supposed to focus on yourself and work on yourself right now rather than distract yourself from that work. With different things, like in different social situations. Although that probably is very difficult because of all of these lockdowns and restrictions on socializing that most of the world is experiencing right now. Okay, Rado carries within its form the rune of joy. For now the end is in sight. You are no longer burdened by what you've left behind. Heaven above you and earth below you unite within you to support you on your way. A simple prayer for the soul's journey is, my will is thy will, let thy will be done. Such a prayer of intention is proper on any occasion and is particularly appropriate as a preamble to healing. Okay, and then we have EWAS 92. I'm not gonna read all of them because quite long and the video is quite long already. So EWAS is a rune of transit and movement. Oh no, wait, we're reading the reversed meaning. So movement that appears to block. Be certain that what you're doing or not doing is timely. There are no missed opportunities. You have simply to recognize that not all opportunities are open to you, that not all possibilities are for you. The opportunity at hand may be precisely to avoid action. If you're feeling at a loss, unclear about the need to act, consider what is timely to your nature and remember, what is yours will come to you. Northeast, 53. Okay, there we go. So, keywords: constraint, necessity, pain. Lovely. So the necessity of learning to deal with severe constraint is the lesson of notice. This rune represents the obstacles we create for ourselves as well as those we encounter in the world around us. Both of these situations can be equally difficult to handle. The role of notice is to identify your shadow, your dark or repressed side, places where growth has been stunned, resulting in weaknesses that are often projected onto others. Don't take this world personally. This rune is saying, work with the shadow, examine what it is in your nature that attracts hardship or misfortune to your life. When at least you can look upon the rune of constraint with a smile, you will recognize the troubles, denials, and setbacks of life as your teachers, guides, and allies. The need for restraint is unquestionable here. Drawing this rune indicates that there may well be hold-ups and reasons to reconsider your plans carefully. Clearly, There is work to be done on yourself, so take it on with good humor and show perseverance. This is a time to pay off all the debts, to restore, if not harmony, at least balance. So mend, restore, redress. When fishermen can't go to sea, they repair their nets. Let the constraints of the time serve you in writing your relationship to yourself. This is exactly what I was talking about. We can't move forward at the moment. So don't just sit down and wait and expect things to start shifting. Don't put your power outside on the external. Don't wait for someone else to sort out things for you. In this time, utilize this time wisely and work on yourself. Keep shedding off different, layers of pain, of conditioning, of habits and beliefs that are not serving us anymore. So when it's divine timing, we are ready to move forward and to create courageously and powerfully. Okay, be mindful that rectification must come before progress, and as always, consider the uses of adversity. Oh, that's a really beautiful message. Okay, and Kano, 79. Okay, opening fire torch. This is the rune of opening and renewed clarity for dispelling the darkness that has been shrouding some part of your life. You're free now both to receive and to know the joy of non-attached giving. Isn't that beautiful? It's a great rune to follow all this darkness. Kano is the rune for the morning of activities, for seriousness, clear intent, and concentration, all of which are essential at the beginning of any endeavor. The protection offered by Kano is this: the more light you have, the better you can see what is trivial and outmoded in your conditioning. In relationships, there can now be a mutual opening up, which you may trigger and set in motion through your awareness that the light of understanding is once again available to you both. Recognize that while on the one hand you're limited and dependent, on the other you exist at the perfect center where the harmonious and beneficent forces of the universe merge and radiate. You are that center. Simply put, if you have been operating in the dark, there is now enough light to see that the patient on the operating table is yourself. And last one, Ansus 35. Signals, messenger rune, the god Loki. The keynote here is receiving messages, signals, gifts. Even a timely warning may be seen as a gift. The message may be that of a new life unfolding. New lives begin with new connections, surprising linkages that direct us into new pathways. Take care now to be especially aware during meetings, visits, chance encounters, particularly with people wiser than yourself. When the messenger rune brings sacred knowledge, you are truly blessed. Loki is the ancient trickster from the pantheon of the Norse gods. He is the Heyoka of the Native Americans, a mocking shadow of the creator god, as well as the bringer of benefits to humankind. Even scoundrels and thieves can be the bearers of wisdom. When you draw this rune, expect the unexpected. The message is always a call to new life. Drawing answers tells you that connection with the divine is at hand. It is a signal to explore the depths, the foundation of life, and to experience the inexhaustible wellspring of the divine in your nature. At the same time, you're reminded that you must first draw from the well to nourish and give to yourself. Then there will be more than enough to nourish others. A new sense of family solidarity invests this rune. Very beautiful messages. Well, I hope this helped some of you. I hope it gave you clarity and hope. I'm sending you lots of love, many blessings, and stay strong. Keep believing in yourself and keep feeding your light and brilliance with self-loving acts, with caring acts each day. I'm wishing you all the best. I'll see you next time. Bye.